Welcome into Payoff Pitch, Action Network's baseball betting podcast presented by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Brendan Glasheen joining you today. We've got a special long shots episode ahead of the baseball season, going around the horn with a couple of Action Network contributors. We'll have our baseball experts you'll hear from all season long, including their favorite long shot for the 2024 season. So they'll give a couple angles, then pick their favorite one they'll give out at the end of the show. For these long shots, we don't quite set a specific number or a price, but relative to the bets themselves, we'll hear some longer approaches for this season across multiple markets. Before we jump in, as a reminder, best bets episodes throughout the season coming your way Monday, Tuesday, and Friday mornings. So subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Audio version, video version over at the Action Network YouTube page. We're trying to get more folks over there. So if you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate you joining us there as well. A 5-star rating and review goes a long way for us, negative or positive. So thank you. Okay, let's get into some long shots. Our first guest joining us, Sean Zerillo, who you'll hear from plenty this season on Payoff Pitch.
Finding a favorite long shot for 2024 with a realistic chance of cashing is difficult, especially at long odds. In fact, most of my long shot opportunities for this season are more speculating on players I think have a better chance of winning their categories or winning an award in 2025 and just speculating a year early at longer odds that they're going to get it done sooner. However, one bet that did stand out to me relative to my projected odds, Kyle Schwarber to lead the major leagues in RBI this season at 100-1. Schwarber finished 11th last season despite a very low batting average on balls in play, just 209. And in fact, it was a 200 BABIP with runners in scoring position. For his career, Schwarber has had a 258 BABIP. It's at 240 in 2022. So better ball luck expected for Schwarber this season. Still going to be batting out of the leadoff spot, and it is difficult to win an RBI title if you're going to be hitting first. However, there's a chance that Schwarber moves down in the lineup at some point this season, has been leading off for the Phillies for quite some time. And even hitting out of the leadoff spot, he's still projected by ATC to finish 11th in RBI. And the BATX has him finishing first, tied with Aaron Judge at 110 RBI this season. So everybody Kyle Schwarber is projected near in terms of RBI this year, anywhere between 9-1 and 25-1 at best. And if I lower the threshold to 95 RBI or more, players I think will hit at least 95 RBI this season based on my projected numbers, nobody is over 30-1 except for Kyle Schwarber. So a clear outlier on the odds board relative to all of his projected peers. Very easy for me to narrow down the value when I see an outlier to that degree, but basically how I go about handicapping my futures, look at the projections, look at the average projections, average on a per plate appearance basis, and find the players that are outliers on the odds board relative to all the players they're projected near. So Kyle Schwarber, a clear standout by that measurement, 100-1 to lead the league in RBI for a player who expects to finish in the top 10 or at least top 12 in that category in the preseason and may get more opportunities if he moves down in the lineup. Like this bet down to about 75-1 as of now. Grab that 100-1 while it's out there. Doubt it stays there before opening day.
Okay, thank you, Sean. Charlie DiSturco, who will also join us. He is the author of Triple Sevens. He has a player prop, an award bet, and a World Series winner he likes this season.
My favorite long shot of the season is backing Austin Riley in the player prop market. Let's go with home run leader, 50-1, RBI leader, 16-1. If you look at the second half of last season, Austin Riley really found his form, hit 300. Had 21 homers and 56 RBI in just 70 games. If you expect that with a fully healthy Braves lineup that should get even better as they continue to age and find their prime, we're looking at a season where Austin Riley could hit 40 to 50 homers and hit in about 115 plus guys. That's going to put him clearly in the middle of this race here. And most projection markets are pretty much in line with him being number 1 or top 5 when it comes to the runs batted in category and also top 10 in home runs. So given the price at 16-1, I think his RBI is a bit cheap as well as his home runs here at 50-1. He is a power bat that found his stride in one of the best offenses in baseball. While everyone's looking at Matt Olson, I like taking a little bit of a stab here, a little bit longer, if you will, on Austin Riley. And then my favorite team prop, the Tampa Bay Rays, 45-1 to win the World Series. This is a team that consistently overperforms projections day in and day out. They're going to have a strong bullpen once again, and they have the Kevin Cash factor, the analytically driven approach of the Rays. They're going to do bullpen days. They're going to set their offensive lineup well. And this is the same lineup basically that we saw in the second half of last season. Even without Wander Franco, this was a team that had sixth in WRC plus generated. They're a dominant offense that no one is really talking about. Everyone's discussing the Yankees, and now Garrett Cole's going down. They're talking about the Orioles, who were a bit of a luck box last season when it came to close games. I like taking a stab here on the Rays, getting into the playoffs, and then in these 5-7 game series, Kevin Cash has proven to be one of the best managers in the situations, and the Rays are going to get healthy. Yes, they will be getting back Drew Rasmussen and Jeffrey Springs, plus Shane Baz might come back too in the middle of the season. So you put that all together, Zach Eflin, Ryan Pepiot, Taj Bradley hopefully stays healthy as well when he returns, and they have no shortage of talented arms. I talked about the offense. I think this is a team that is more than capable of winning the American League and giving any team a run for their money because of that pitching depth and slept on offense. So those are my three favorite long shot props. Austin Riley to lead the league in homers 50-1 and RBI 13-1, 16-1, wherever you can get the best number. And then the Rays World Series 45-1.
Quick heads up to the great state of North Carolina. They have officially launched sports betting. So if you're in the Tar Heel state, take advantage of the best sign-up offers across every sports book. You can find a link to every one of those offers in the description of this episode, all the North Carolina offers, all in one place. Just check out the link in the episode description. Okay, next up, let's hear from BJ Cunningham on his favorite long shots for 2024.
Hello, everybody. I'm BJ Cunningham, and these are my three favorite long shots for the upcoming Major League Baseball season. First up, Michael Harris, the second to lead the league in hits at 40-1. Harris has had two great seasons in the big leagues. He's averaged close to 300, but he hasn't played a full 162 or even gotten close to it. It was 114 in his first year and 138 in his second year. When you're looking at this award, you have to look at hits per plate appearance. And Michael Harris is projected to be up there with everybody across the top of the board, from Ronald Acuna to Luis Reyes, everybody. So he just needs to play close to 162 games, and playing in the Braves offense, which is going to be one of the best in baseball. He's going to have every opportunity and the maximum amount of play appearances that he needs to get into the top five and potentially overtake Acuna for this award. So I love Harris at 40-1 to lead the league in hits. Next up, Bobby Miller at 50-1 to win the National League Cy Young. Yes, the Dodgers are going to a 6-man rotation, but Bobby Miller has the stuff and the potential to completely be lights out this season. So over the second half of last season, Bobby Miller had a stuff plus rating of 122. That was second in Major League Baseball, behind only Corbin Burns, who is now playing in the American League. Miller has an electric fastball that's in the 98th percentile in terms of velocity, and then he brings a sinker that averaged close to 99 miles per hour with 19 inches of run on it, and then has a wipeout slider as well. So, Miller posted a 3.45 expected ERA in 22 starts last year. If he gets to, he's obviously got to pitch close to 170 innings to win this award, and six-man rotation is going to make that hard. But if Miller is completely lights out and his stuff actually reaches its potential, and with him pitching with the lead most of the time for the Dodgers, he definitely has the potential to win this award at 50-1. And finally, the Milwaukee Brewers at 50-1 to win the National League. The Brewers are a dark horse to win the National League Central, which may only get one team into the playoffs. But if you're looking for a team that has two things elite over both the Braves and the Dodgers, well, the Brewers have that. They have an incredibly deep bullpen, and last year they were the best defensive team in baseball. They've made some improvements to their offense as well. They were in the bottom half of Major League Baseball, but now they're going to be closer to average with additions like Rhys Hoskins from the Phillies, Gary Sanchez, who had his best season since 2019 last year, and they're bringing up their top prospect, Jackson Chourio, who is who is the third overall prospect in Major League Baseball. So if the Brewers do get into the playoffs, they can manage their bullpen, they have an elite defense, and they have the ability to potentially overtake the Dodgers or the Braves and win the National League.
And finally, Anthony Dundo is going to take us home with a few of his favorite long shot bets for this coming Major League Baseball season.
Hi, Anthony Dundo here to break down some of my favorite long shot bets for the 2024 MLB season. There's one I'm going to list as an honorable mention because the market has come down all across the board on this, but if you can still find Jackson Merrill for San Diego at 25-30-1 to win Rookie of the Year in the National League, I think he's worth a punt because Mike Shildt said he's on the plane. He's going to Korea. He's going to be the starter in center field. He's going to be able to rack up some defensive WAR, and if his bat plays, which it has thus far in spring, he's going to be right up there with the favorites to win this award. Of course, Yamamoto is the heavy favorite. I do expect him to win it, but pitchers generally get overvalued in these markets, so he's one to watch. But I am staying out west for a couple other of my picks, including my favorite long shot pennant future this year, San Diego, 25-1, kind of the post-hype. Last year, everybody was hyping the Padres. Their win total is a good 14, 15 wins lower this year, right around a 500 team. Yes, they lose Blake Snell, but they replace him with Dylan Cease. They lose Josh Hader, but if they need to adjust the bullpen and improve it at the deadline, I think there's room for that to happen. They ran horribly in one-run games last year, as everybody knows. And the big loss being Juan Soto, sure, but I think there's room for upside with this offense. They didn't get a great year from Xander Bogaerts. They didn't get a classic Manny Machado year. I think there's room for upside for them. And if they get into a short series with these big favorites like LA and Atlanta, they have the pitching to match them in that series. So 25-1 on the Padres National League, I think is worth it. Once they pare down that roster, I think they're competitive with the top squads. We'll see how they do in Korea this week. That also gets me out west to the Giants, where I've got a couple bets. Jung-Hoo Lee, runs leader, 35-1. He's going to bat leadoff all season long in a pretty good offense, in a good park for him to get on base, steal bases, projected OBP around 344. He is an interesting case because there's a lot of uncertainty in how good he really is. Maybe he doesn't pop and he doesn't hit as well and he loses his spot in the order and we lose this bet. But at 35-1, with Acuna now dealing with a bit of a knee injury, I think there is some value there on the Giants leadoff hitter, who's going to be, paid a big contract and thus expected to, start at the top of the lineup and play every day. And then Logan Webb, 35-1, most wins. Was kind of shocked by this number as well. If you compare him to the guys he's around, the bat has him projected for 13 wins, which is 2 fewer than Spencer Strider for most in baseball. I like targeting this market, especially with some mid to long shots, because you never know who's going to get injured or who's going to have some bad variance at the top. There's so much variance in who gets wins and who doesn't based on how good your bullpen is. I think the Giants bullpen projects really well. I think Webb is a workhorse who throws 200 innings every year. He's had great health track record, and the Giants should be able to hold some leads for him if he's able to get them leads. So he's throwing 7-8 innings sometimes, 35-1 most wins. Probably my favorite of all these bets in terms of long shots. Think he will be in the mix with all those top guys for most wins this year. And then the final pick is Grayson Rodriguez. If you've listened to this show, you know how much we love him on Payoff Pitch. Second half of the season, after he fixed his pitch tipping issues and kind of cut the cutter out of his arsenal a little bit, his numbers took a big leap forward, trusted his stuff, had a sub-3 ERA in the second half, dominated in September, really good strikeout numbers, really good stuff. And it plays in a park that's pretty favorable for pitchers as well. So, the Orioles are going to be great. And I think Grayson might be the best pitcher on that staff, even better than Corbin Burns. And the thing about the AL Cy Young race, with Garrett Cole now out of the picture, Kevin Gausman unlikely to make opening day, Tarek Skubal, another favorite who has an injury history. There's a lot of uncertainty in this market at the top. You've got guys like Verlander who are kind of past peak, Scherzer, DeGrom not going to qualify. So I think the AL Cy Young race is one of the most fascinating handicaps of the entire season, and I am sticking my money on Grayson Rodriguez at 20-1.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Payoff Pitch presented by BetMGM. Make sure you download the free award-winning Action Network app. Follow all of our action experts so you can track your own picks, you can find their picks, etc. If you're in North Carolina, excited to do some MLB betting, check out the link in the episode description. We'll take you there for all the offers that you do not want to miss. Rate, review, subscribe, YouTube, audio, wherever you listen. Much appreciated. Zerillo, Charlie DeSturco, Whitchurch, BJ Cunningham, Anthony Dundo, they will all come your way throughout the course of the year. For those guys, and our audio producer, David Payne, Brendan Glasheen, signing off. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time here on Payoff Pitch.